Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to watch another video here at alliseeisW, where the goal is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. That's what winning is. In today's video, I wanted to cover the overall Bitcoin market as well as talk about a Bitcoin mining company that I believe have so much potential in the year 2025. We see so much bullish upside with Bitcoin price action going up. Even altcoins are making a run. And in fact, the year 2025, it's a great performance that we're seeing with the Bitcoin miners, specifically this miner, CleanSpark, ticker CLSK. I've been having videos on prior miners, including CleanSpark, talking about seasonality performance, especially when a company, especially Bitcoin miner, underperforms in the prior year. The company has a tendency to inverse pattern and have positive performance, which is why 2025, I believe we're going to see huge upside. Mark this. I'm going to go through my technical and fundamental analysis of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Let's start, guys. First off, I wanted to just talk about the overall Bitcoin commodity here. So we're looking at top assets by market cap. You see here, Bitcoin is climbing up the ranks here. Eventually, I think in the next couple of months, we're going to see Bitcoin bypass Amazon, whether that's going to be in February or even earlier or later. We're going to see Bitcoin bypass Google, Microsoft, eventually Nvidia, Apple, and we know the number one here, gold at 18 trillion. Bitcoin's going to go beyond that and at one point get to about 100 trillion. So all of that's going to be driven from President Trump being such a big supporter of Bitcoin. In fact, we just saw a new cryptocurrency that was created, the real Trump coin. And today it ran up, it had inflows of $10 billion and it went from like $8 all the way up to like $35 just within a matter of one day of trading. But that's all driven because of the huge upside. Everything is being leveraged by price of Bitcoin, current price of Bitcoin at sub 104,000. I think with the events leading up to the inauguration, along with change in the SEC, executive order on US strategic Bitcoin reserve, we're going to see so much pumping of Bitcoin. Price is probably going to go up to about 200, 250K in this year. There's analysts, H.C. Wainwright, forecasting price to be in the $250,000 by this year, 2025. That makes sense. Supply and demand for Bitcoin goes up. Digital currency continues to be valued by global countries, not only by different states that are now tapping into setting up a strategic reserve in Texas, Pennsylvania, Missouri, but you also hear that with other dominating countries in Poland, in China, all around the world. So Bitcoin is eventually going to be depleted, but according to the design of Bitcoin, Satoshi's plan that he designed is that the last Bitcoin will be mined during in about 120 years from now. So imagine the value of that price. It'll be in the multiple millions dollars per coin. But I think that Bitcoin has so much upside. And what does this mean with the rise in the Bitcoin commodity? That's going to drive up the price of CleanSpark. So here we're looking at technical analysis of CleanSpark here. I just wanted to give you an overall visual of technical analysis with CleanSpark. So at one point we saw CleanSpark right after the voting elections for presidency when Trump was announced that he will be the upcoming president back in November. CleanSpark ran all the way up to $18, and since then it dropped all the way down to the support level of like low $9. I have a support line here at red dollars. I don't think it'll reach, any lower than the $9. And if you were able to capitalize on the share price at like 980, you're winning here because why? we see the price action, just zooming in here, we see the price action hovering above the Ichimoku cloud. So that's a technical indicator. Anytime when the price action is in between or below the Ichimoku cloud, that cloud, the Ichimoku cloud, is going to drag down that price action. That's one analogy to look at. But the good news is that the current price action at 1187, it just broke through the clouds. It's above the clouds. So now it's just hovering. It's anti-gravity, Newton's nightmare, however way you think about it. But here, I do see that we're going to start seeing that retest back into that $15 range in yellow and then start wrapping up to the next leg up. We definitely see, the basement low established, but now it's just going to go up. And folks, when I say what goes down will go back up, that's true in that we saw 50% drop off in the 6 weeks of trading. But now, because it dropped so quick, we're going to see that pump back up. And I'm going to say that as we scale out, back in March of 2024, we saw CleanSpark run up from like $6 to $25. So anywhere from like $9 that we saw, I think that with CleanSpark, we can see CleanSpark ramp up to $50 in this year. I wouldn't be surprised to see a big rocket fuel type of candlestick that will be established from a technical analysis. We're seeing volume pickup, just call options in the new year established. We see the RSI divergence indicator, representing a bullish signal here. So all of the technical upsides are looking good from a near and long-term perspective for CleanSpark. Let's take a look at their fundamentals. CleanSpark, they announced, about 10 days ago that they bypassed that 10,000 Bitcoin held. And the unique thing is that this accomplishment, they did it by just pure mining. They are a pure Bitcoin mining company where their focus is to really bring down the cost for mining, get that fleet efficiency down, having the latest and greatest devices deployed, and really bring down that cost for fleet efficiency, which is why you see their joules per terahash go from 19 to 17 joules per terahash. So they are slightly behind the number one company in terms of fleet efficiency, and that's Iron. But the unique thing is that CleanSpark's hash rate, they're ramping up their hash rate to the level that no other company can compete with at this time, getting up their hash rate by, June timeframe up to 50 exahash. All of that's driven from their convertible note that they got $650 million convertible note with 0% interest into the later years to fully capitalize and all, paid by that convertible note there. So they also did buyback shares. So in terms of dilution of shares, we don't have to worry about that so much compared to most of the other miners. So I think there's some huge upside here with CleanSpark being a key role in the Bitcoin mining industry as a North American pure miner play here. So let's just take a look at their December numbers. So, CleanSpark announced bullish numbers with the amount of Bitcoin that they mined. They mined 668 Bitcoins in just the month December, total 7,024 Bitcoins last year. Their hash rate, they grew close to about 3x with a 33% improvement in their fleet efficiency. So why is that so important? Just with them being able to accomplish an impressive 39.1 exahash with the fleet efficiency of 17.6 joules per terahash. All of their new states, they expanded in Mississippi, Tennessee, Wyoming. And with these site expansions, that has allowed for them to really ramp up their hash rate, bring down their month-end fleet efficiency cost, along with their closing of the 650 million zero coupon convertible note offering. All of that's going to support their growth strategy and continue to build on their hash rate, bring down their fleet efficiency. And as a result, that Bitcoin produced on a monthly scale is going to start, climbing up significantly up to like, the $1,000 per month. So very interesting. I think that we're also going to see some huge upside with the share price, all of these prices from a technical analysis. We're going to start seeing, price action. Things are going to start getting priced in starting now up to the events leading to the announcement of the quarterly financial results. Because end of year Bitcoin price was over 100,000, you think about all of the Bitcoins that CleanSpark held onto, that's going to be revenue, the price appreciation of Bitcoin. That's all going to be reflected on CleanSpark's profit margins for the year 2024. So I'm thinking there's going to be huge positive upside with the data that's going to be shared to the financial analysts and shareholders of CleanSpark. Now let's take a look at details around options with CleanSpark. So what we're beginning to see is bullish stance here. There's been a lot of different signals, indicators on big things that are happening around the market. We see a lot of unusual data here where just call options are becoming much more bullish here. Overall sentiment of these big money traders, we see 77% bullish and 16% bearish out of all these call options that we see established. There's a price range between $3 to $37 in, the last 3 months. But just focusing on, this chart here, we see call option activity just like ramped up. I mean, back in December, those weeks we saw huge shorting happen, rise in short interests, at around 26%. But you see here some call options activity expiring in 2025 here, strike price of like $37. But I think there's a lot more activity with call options going on. Why? Because I think people see the stance that there's going to be some huge upside. Current market standing of CleanSpark, I think price is going up. Current RSI indicates that the stock may be approaching overbought. Next earnings report, that's 20 days from now. So how much of that's going to be priced in, and are we seeing a potential short squeeze coming up? Let's take a look at the contrarian perspective. Short interest percent float here is at 26%. Short interest shares, there's about 75 million shares out there with 3.73 days to cover. But, just looking at the short positions by different funds here, you see, a number of financial institutions here. So just with one that was held back in November, Jane Street Group, they have about, 1.3 million shares. Citadel back in November, 4.8 million shares. But you don't see significant heavy activity here with the amount of shorts. All of these shorts were created, back in November timeframe, especially right after that, $18 run up. So of course, these investments, similar to like REBYX, they're taking advantage because that was when they created that short interest from the time CleanSpark reached that high point. But eventually these shorters are going to have to cover, right? They have X amount of days to cover. If and when CleanSpark starts running back up, I think that there's going to be a lot of shorters trying to cover their positions. And as a result, we're going to see some short squeeze happening. I wouldn't be surprised to see CleanSpark get up to the $50 range. When's that going to happen? I think in Q1, we're going to see that, upward trajectory break through the $20 plus $20 into 2025. As we see Bitcoin price go up to 200K, we're going to start seeing CleanSpark reach up to that 3 to 5x potential. Let me know what your comments are. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to All I See Is W. Thank you, guys.